Hey guys, this is Ash with Solar Movement, and I am so excited to be moving with you guys today. I I don't really know what today's video is going to be about, but I will caption it once we're finished with what it is. I'm just going to be moving intuitively with how I'm feeling, but I know there's going to be some stretch, some strength, and some ease at the end. So if you have a bolster and blocks, please grab them. If you don't, that's okay. If you want something like a bolster, you can roll up a big blanket. You can go grab a pillow. So go ahead and pause the video now for that and come back when you're ready. Alrighty, so you should have everything that you need. And let's start in a wide knee child's pose, excuse me. So knees can be wide, big toes can be touching. If this isn't where you're wanting to be in your body today, then you can have supported child's pose with your knees together. And it's just a different stretch on the back. You can play around with both. And bring awareness to your breath. Bring awareness to how you're feeling. Start to deepen the breath by elongating the inhales and slowing down the exhalations. And each exhale, you're feeling your body deepening in this posture, deepening onto your mat, to the earth. Releasing the tips of the shoulders, the jaw. Each breath is starting to quiet down the busyness in our minds. Allowing us to become fully into this moment, into the physical. Releasing any tension in the lower back by maybe swaying the hips from left to right and getting your forehead involved. So just rolling from side to side. And finding stillness and maybe stretching your fingers further towards the tip of your mat. Getting a deeper stretch under the shoulder blades, the armpits. And lift your head up, gazing at the front of the mat. And inhale. And on the exhale, walk your hands over towards the right. And dropping your left hip down towards the left heel more. And dropping and pressing into your left palm. Forehead comes down, feeling the side stretched in this left side of your body. Inhale to look up and then walk your fingers, your hands through center over towards the right, pressing into the right hand and draping the right hip tip down towards the right heel. Relaxing deeper into this posture. Notice if your left shoulder is tense. Can you soften it? Gaze your head up and walk your fingers, your hands through center. And through here, you're going to press into your hands. Fingers are spread wide. And you're going to roll your spine forward into tabletop. Through tabletop, drop your pelvis down, sending your heart up, pressing into your hands, pressing into the big toes, into the earth. And then exhale, roll your spine back down, tucking your toes here and bringing your knees more hips width distance and finding this toe stretch. So press into your palms to get a deeper stretch in the toes. Gaze forward, and this time can you arch your spine so my chest is facing forward and I'm rounding up, finding cow. Belly is down, pressing into the earth, shoulder blades are down the back. Stay here. Round the spine, pressing into the earth, gaze in between your knees or at your belly button. Stay here. Inhale, finding cow. Shifting forward slightly. And exhale, press into the earth, rounding the spine. And maybe shifting your hips from left to right, or finding some barrel rolls, some figure eights. Let's stay in one direction for right now. And then you can switch that direction, just being as fluid with your body. Choose your own adventure here with what feels good. Maybe this practice is just for shifting energy and being in your body, for grounding down when you need to breathe and to move. Find stillness in the spine, finding tabletop, hinging your knees a little bit closer underneath your hips, and then tap out the tops of your toes. Tap them a little bit faster, waking up the feet, and then find stillness and hold and press into tabletop. The belly is pressing into the back of the spine. Go ahead and tuck your toes and press your hips up and back for downward facing dog. And start to walk your dog, lifting each heel and dropping the other. Bending the knees. Take up as much space as you need. And send your heels as close to the ground as they will go. Bend your knees to get a flat back. Spread the fingers. Release the shoulders away from the ears. And rotate the elbow tips inward. Gaze forward in between your hands. And then you're going to do a crisscross walk towards the top. So your right can go over towards your left. And then you're going to bend your knees and then straighten them. Then walking your left over towards the right. Bending your knees, straightening them, sending the hips up. And then cross and just make your way towards the top. Go as slow. That feels good. Once you're to the top, find your feet hips width distance apart or big toes touching, heels slightly apart. Knees are bent. You can find your blocks here for support. Pressing into the mat, your shins or your blocks, finding it halfway on the inhale. And then exhale, folding, hinging at the hips, dropping your forehead down. Knees bent, chest is resting onto the thighs. Release your hands, release your fingers. Finding ragdoll, so you're going to grab opposite elbows with your hands and just rock side to side.
releasing anything else in the back of the body. And then you can rock up and down in the spine and the shoulders, the elbows. Finding stillness. You're going to reach your hands up behind you towards the sky. Interlace your fingers, pressing the knuckles away. Shoulders are open, finding this nice shoulder stretch here. And then bend your left knee, right leg is straight, and bring your left shoulder over towards the right, and your hands over towards the left. Gaze is up towards the right. Inhale, bend the right, straighten the left. Send your shoulders over towards the left, gaze up towards the left. Oh, my energy is not fully here today, but I know I needed to do some type of movement for my body. Inhale, release the hands. Oh, and then press into your feet. Use the strength of your legs to slowly roll up to stand. Once you're there, start to roll your shoulders up and back, releasing. Then shake your hands, shake your hips, finding a little bounce here. So I'm lifting my heels slightly, just shaking my head. And then bring your fingertips to the tops of the shoulders. My elbows are wide. My belly button is pressing into the spine. And we're going to go into some thoracic twist with some breath work to kind of bring us some more energy, giving us that gooey goodiness. And then you're just going to start twisting side to side while breathing. So it's going to look and sound like this. Go faster. Keep going, sucking all the air in through your nose and forcibly blowing it out through the nose. A few more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Find center. Release your arms down by your side. Close your eyes. Feeling the vibrations, the energy surging through your body, through your head. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. Don't be afraid to sigh out. Our voice is a vehicle of energy. Don't be afraid to use your voice. Breathe in. And on the exhale, sigh it out. Beautiful. Reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Bring your palms together. Send them back slightly. Heart is coming up. Press your hips forward. And on the exhale, swan dive, leading with the heart hinging at the hips. Fold down. Ooh, and then rocking side to side, maybe using your fingers to trace the space in front of you. Beautiful. Plant your hands down and then step back into a downward facing dog. Inhale your heels high, and then exhale, send them lower towards the ground, pressing into your hands to get your chest closer to your thighs. Look forward. Then you're going to roll your spine into a high plank. Drop your knees. And then keep your elbows stitched to your side. You're going to lower down knees, chest, chin. So my hips are still lifted. My elbows are still stitched to my side. And really use the weight of your chest to press into the earth. Untuck your toes and then round and roll your belly towards the mat. Dropping your forehead down into the earth. Rock your hips side to side. Bring your fingertips wider than your mat. Your elbows are facing up. Press into your toe tips. Press into your fingers. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, drop your left shoulder down towards the earth, gazing past your right. So I'm dipping my left shoulder down. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, drop your right shoulder down, looking towards your left. Inhale. Exhale, dip. Inhale, come up. Exhale, dip. Inhale, come up. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Bring your palms back to underneath your shoulders. You're going to bend your right leg and reach for your right foot with your right hand and bringing your heel closer to your glutes. And gaze at the video and notice that my elbow is still facing up towards the sky. Relax here. Release your foot, drop it down, bending your left knee and reaching for your foot with your left hand, pressing the heel into the glute. Finding a nice quad stretch, but keeping your arms active with the elbow pointing up. Release the foot, drop it down. Bring your hand back underneath your shoulder. Press into your hands to find a tabletop. Ground down through your left hand. Widen your knees if that feels good. Personally, it feels better for me. And I'm going to reach my right arm up towards the ceiling. Sending my hips over towards the right, my hand back towards the left. Opening the right side, right hip flexor. Sending energy, strong hands to the right fingertips. Breathe in. And on the exhale, you're going to thread your right hand underneath your left, dropping your right shoulder down. Inhale, bring your right hand up. Exhale, thread the right underneath the left. Inhale your right hand up. And then exhale, drop it down. Ground down through your right. Extend your left arm up, sending the hips towards the left. Ooh. Maybe finding a few wrist circles. Inhale. And exhale, thread it underneath your right. Dropping that left shoulder down. Inhale, press up, lift your left arm. And exhale, thread it. Inhale, press up, lift up. And exhale, drop it down for a tabletop. Press into your hands and bring your right knee up towards the sky. My right knee is bent 90-degree angle. My right toes are flexed towards the earth. Then point your toes and send that knee higher up, maybe arching your neck with it. Look, gazing up. Grounding down through the right hand, I'm going to scoop my left hand forward and behind me, maybe reaching for that foot. Pressing my foot into my hand, opening the left shoulder. Keep your foot here, release your hand, And then round your knee to your nose. Inhale the right foot behind you. And then exhale, drop it down behind you onto the inner edge of the foot. Swoop your left foot out to the left and reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling and extending it towards the front of the mat. Inhale, using the strength of your core, lift your torso up and tee out your arms, pressing into the outer right edge of the foot. Inhale to expand through the spine up, and then on the exhale, reaching out towards the right, draping your right hand down for gate pose. And try and point your right toes out towards the back of the space, reaching to the left side body. Your hand can either be on a block, your shin, or on the mat. And then bend your right knee, toes facing the back, and finding a supported warrior two here. Straighten the leg, flex the toes, bring your hands into prayer. Finding this low skandasana here, this version of a skandasana or a half splits. Bend your right knee, open up, supported warrior two. And on the exhale, hinge back, dropping your left hand down, reaching your right leg up towards the sky, bending it and placing it at the front of your space in between your hands. Heel toe your right foot out towards the right edge. Hands are in between your feet, gazing up for this lizard pose. Option to use blocks here, or coming down to your forearms. And maybe scooting that left knee back a little bit more. If you want to keep it active, maybe lifting that left knee off of the mat. The heel has a lot of energy in it. So I'm pressing into the toes, pressing into the back of the mat, or my feet towards the back of the mat. Navel to spine. And watch that right knee and see if you can bring it in closer towards the right shoulder blade. If your left knee isn't lifted, go ahead and lift it now. Press into your blocks or your mat to lift you up. And then bring your left toes in slightly, stretching and straightening both legs for this pyramid pose. My left hip is bumping up. I'm going to move my blocks towards the front. I'm going to heel toe my right foot underneath my face, bending my right knee and lifting my arms up towards the ceiling. I keep hitting things. For a crescent lunge, plugging those shoulders down into their sockets. Fingers are wide. Belly is strong, pressing into all the edges of the feet. Muscle hugs bone. Breathe in. Exhale. See if you can sink your pelvis a little bit deeper. Inhale, expand through the spine and drop your right heel down, 45-degree angle, finding a warrior one. Hips are still facing forward. I show you. As so. Inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, reach your hands behind you, interlacing your fingers, dropping your shoulders or your hands down, shoulders up, and then rounding forward for exalted warrior. Press into the back outer edge of the left foot. Press into all 5 toes on your right foot. Inhale, lift your torso up. Release your hands, refinding that crescent. And on the exhale, twist your right hand behind you, finding this lunge twist. Squeezing the inner thighs together. Breathe here, my friends. Finding ease through strength, through challenge, through discomfort. Scoop your right hand back to meet your left. Inhale up. And then exhale, finding a warrior two, pivoting your left foot in line with your right. Flip the palm, straighten the front leg, and reverse triangle, high-fiving that back wall. Rebend the front knee, finding warrior two. And then this time you're going to bend the left, finding your version of Skandasana. So you're straightening the right leg, bending the left knee. You can be on your left tippy toes, or you can maybe finding the space to drop your heel down, keeping the spine long. Your hands can be on blocks, the ground, and prayer, or you can open up, finding more space, bringing your left hand towards the outer left side, reaching your right hand up. Bring your palms back together. You're going to crawl yourself to frame your right foot. Stepping back into a high plank, dropping your knees, chest, chin. Scooping your belly into the mat. Inhale, find a baby cobra. And exhale, release down. Scoot your hands back to the low ribs. Press into your palms, finding a cobra. Or up dog by lifting your knees and your thighs. And exhale, hips high for down dog. Gaze forward. And finding that zigzag crisscross motion again, step and crisscross towards the front of the mat. So this version of getting to the mat can stretch the outer edges of our legs, like IT band, sides of our calves. Enjoy it. Take your time. Meet me at the front. Inhale, finding a halfway lift. And exhale, folding down. Press into your feet. Again, use the strength of your legs to roll you up. Your back doesn't come up, it's your legs shooting you up. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale your arms up, gaze up. Exhale, bring your hands up, prayer. Open your chest up, hips going towards the front. And then exhale, swan diving down, leading with the heart forward fold. And you're going to step back into table. Breathe in and breathe out. Press into the palms. And lift your left leg up, flexing the feet. Legs are bent in 90-degree angle. And then you're going to reach your right arm forward and behind you, reaching for that left leg. Pressing it into your hand, opening the right shoulder. Release the foot, but leave the foot lifted. Bring your arm back down and point your toes and arch. And bring your knee up closer and closer, finding this tiger pose. And then drop your left leg back down behind you, shifting your right heel over towards the right. Your left foot is in line with your right knee, lifting your left arm up and out towards the front. Pressing your hips forward. Using your core, lift up, tee out your arms. And then exhale, Place your left hand onto the left leg, reaching over towards the right for this gate pose. Point your toes over towards the left. Bend your knee, finding the supported warrior two. Gaze is in between my middle finger. Then you're going to straighten the leg, flexing the left toes, coming down towards the right heel. Bend your knee, finding that warrior two again. Straightening it and then dropping your right hand down, lifting your left leg and bring it over towards the left side of your mat, pivoting your right foot back to center, finding this low lizard. Maybe rocking side to side, dropping the pelvis low. Chest is lifted, and then maybe coming down onto your forearms on blocks or the mat. Press into your palms to lift up, lifting the right knee, right leg off the ground, or an active lizard here. Hugging the left inner knee into the outer left shoulder. Then heel toe your left foot in between your hands. And then bring your right toes in slightly, and straightening both legs, finding this pyramid stretch. You can use blocks. And draping your head down towards your left knee, allowing the stretch to be juicy. And whatever you need. Bend your left knee. Bring your right toes back out slightly. And using your core, lifting you up into a crescent high lunge. Sinking deeper into the hips. Plugging the shoulders down, spreading the fingers wide. Inhale to lift up through the spine. Exhale, twist your left arm. Actually lift it up. And then dropping your right heel down, finding that warrior one on the left side. Hips are forward. Inhale. And then exhale, interlace your fingers again behind your back, finding the opposite grip. Plugging your knuckles down towards the mat, sending your chest up. And then exhaling, humbling down. Pressing into the outer right edge of the foot. Inhale, lift up, release your hands. Finding that crescent again, pivoting the toes forward. Then exhale, twisting towards the left, scissoring the inner thighs together. Reaching in both directions, front and back with the fingers. Inhale your arms up. And then exhale, finding a warrior two, bending the left knee. Ooh, that left thigh is screaming to me. Flip the palm, straighten the left leg, and reverse that triangle. Bumping the right hip crease up towards the ceiling, towards the front of the space. Pressing into the right hand, into the leg. And try not to collapse into that right shoulder. Inhale, finding warrior two. Exhaling, sinking deeper. Breathe in. And on the exhale, bend the right knee, finding Skandasana on the left. So left leg is straight, Left toes are facing the ceiling. Finding your variations here. Work with your body. Your hips can be lifted. That's totally cool. That's where you're at. And we can accept it. So finding your variations. Maybe stretching that right hand out. Opening that right knee towards the right. Bringing your hands back to prayer and slowly walking towards the front of your mat, framing that left foot. And then bringing it back to high plank. Lowering knees, chest, chin. And scooping that belly in. Drop your forehead down and just take a minute. Notice how you're feeling. I'm noticing that. I'm wondering, I feel like I forgot so many things on the second side, but I'm human. You can do it after the video. I'm just showing up as myself. As you show up as yourself too. We're in this human experience together. Beautiful. Bend your knees towards the sky. And reaching your hands behind you, grabbing either the ankle or the tops of the feet. Pressing the elbows up. And lifting your head and breathing in. Lifting up, pressing your feet into your hands, finding this floor bow pose. You can rock forward and back, maybe lifting up more. Playing around. And then gently lowering down. Bring your hands underneath your forehead and just windshield wipe your feet left to right. And bring your knees back down, your feet back down. Feeling your body kind of settle back into stillness. Feeling your muscles release. Just feeling everything. Being okay with everything. Bring your palms underneath your shoulders. Press in to your tabletop and finding a puppy pose. So sending your hips high, extending your fingers long and dropping your forearms down, your forehead down. And keeping the forearms down on the mat, you're going to lift your head up and lift your torso so your shoulders are now above your elbows. I'm going to tuck my toes, and I'm going to send my hips high for dolphin pose. Walking my toes in slightly more. I'm going to hinge forward and back. Just finding a different posture here. Option to go into forearm stand, into headstand, or you can stay here in this dolphin pose, stretching the calves, building the shoulder strength. If you want to attempt headstand, I can get you into it. So drop your knees back down. Bring your forearms shoulder width distance apart. And then interlace your hands and drop the top of your crown into where your hands are. Press into your elbows, lift your knees. So now your head's on the ground in dolphin pose. And I'm not kicking up to find air. What I'm doing is I'm walking my toes closer and closer. That naturally I come up. pressing into my elbows, not my head. Taking a few breaths here. I don't recommend headstands or any inversions where you're in full inversions if you're on your moon cycle for women. You can play around. Hello, Buddha lamp, excuse me. Extending the legs, bringing them back. And to get out of it, just hinge at your hips, bringing your feet down slowly, finding a child's pose. Try not to get up super fast. Just let the blood settle back down into the body. Bring your torso up and walk your hands to your knees so you know you're on your shins. And finding this meditative pose, closing your eyes, and just roll your neck around. If you were in headstand, there can be some pressure on our neck. Finding stillness, feeling the thighs with your hands. And inhaling, pressing into your shins, lifting your hips up, stretching your arms up. And then exhale, interlace your hands behind you, opening the shoulders, pressing the knuckles down. And then you're going to send your hips back, arch down, and then roll your head onto the mat. Finding rabbit pose. So my knuckles are now facing the ceiling. I'm rolling gently onto the head to compress the throat. And then release your hips down to your heels. Release your hands, finding a child's pose. And this is where we'll start getting into some restorative poses. So if you have your blocks nearby, or your bolster or pillow or blanket, go ahead and reach for your bolster. And you're going to place it in between your legs. And you're going to be a wide-legged child. And then sending your hips down and resting your head into the bolster. Fingers are towards the front, allowing this whole front of your body to heavy into the bolster, into your prop. You can adjust it for whatever feels comfortable. I'm going to bring my bolster up a little bit more. My knees are wider than the mat to accommodate this shape. And take deep and long, slow breaths. Become aware of your inner landscape. Noticing what it feels like to slow down. Do the anxieties start to enter into the thought processes? I could have made up that word, I don't know. Come back to your breath, to come back to this present moment. And gently bring your chin to your prop. And then walk up, bringing your knees in, grabbing your bolster and just moving it in front of you and finding a wide straddle. So I'll face you guys for this. And you can use blocks with this if you don't have a bolster or a pillow or a blanket. Just find anything and that'll bring the ground closer to you. So with this, I have the bolster touching like my inner thighs. And I don't like folding completely down onto this. That doesn't feel super comfortable in my body. So I continue to bring the earth closer to my head by adding blocks. So I'm going to bring my spine up long. Breathe in. And then I'm going to exhale, lean my forehead and my chest towards the blocks. Maybe dropping the forehead down and settling here. My palms are on the earth. Breathe in. And on the exhale, make a slight hum. Inhale. When we're humming, it's impossible to think. It brings us back into the rest and digest. A few more breaths. I accept and I feel everything. Slowly roll up. Remove the props from in front of you. And then bring your left leg in. So my left foot is on the inside of my right inner thigh. I need to play around with this one for a second. Is it like this? So there's different ways to do this one. Hold on, let me figure it out. Okay, so my chest is going to be facing my right toes. You can have the bolster on top of your right leg or on the inside of your right leg. It's just choose your adventure. Choose your own. Find what feels good. I think I'm going to do mine on my leg. No, I'm not. Slowly lift up. We're going to switch legs, so bringing the right in, left long. Facing your chest towards your left toes, lifting your spine up first to then melt down. Bring awareness to your jaw. Can you release it? Bring awareness to your forehead. Can you soften it? Slowly roll your torso back up. And you're going to bring your blocks and your bolsters behind you. If you don't have those things, you can use your blocks for supported fish, which is level like this, behind your shoulder blades. And then the other block flat behind your head, and you can lay down. But if you have your bolster, we're going to be doing supported fish with our bolster. So I have my blocks set up on level 2 and then level 3. I'm going to place my bolster long ways on it. The base of my spine is going to rest on that. My feet are in butterfly Baddha Konasana, and I'm going to rest back, opening my chest, finding this slight heart opener. Or your hands can be on your chest or your belly, resting fully here. There we go. I love this posture because the whole front side now, it's completely open. It's completely vulnerable to the space around us. And it allows us to kind of rest in this vulnerability of being open, of not closing in, not rounding our shoulders, but we're opening our heart to what is, to what's around us, and feeling it all. Accepting every feeling we have and everything that's happening in this very room right now.
go ahead and place your hands on the outside of your knees and gently close them. Hanging out here for just one breath. And then pressing your hands behind you to lift you up. And just drape your chest onto your knees, rounding your head into your knees for this counter stretch. Lift your head up. And then bringing your bolster now in front of you or beside you for now. And you can use your blocks. We're going into supported waterfall now. So if you have blocks, it could feel great. If you have a bolster, it could feel great. But whatever you have, you're going to lay down onto your back. Bring your knees in just for a second and just roll side to side, decompressing that lower spine. And then press your feet into the floor to lift your hips up. And you're going to place that bolster underneath the low of your spine where your sacrum is, a little triangular bone. And you're going to lift your legs up. And try not to keep them active here. You can keep them slightly bent. And you can tee out your arms or cactus them or place them on yourself. The reason I love to do some type of movement before restorative or yin, don't get me wrong, I love a full restorative and yin class. But for me, sometimes moving helps me be more in touch with my body so that when I do start to come down for slower holds and postures, getting into the internal, it helps me quiet down a little bit easier. Helps me get any last minute energies out that feel high or chaotic. So it's like you're kind of burning through any high energies through movement so that you can easily come down for your pure self. Bring your knees into your chest by bending them. Place your feet down, lift your hips, scoot the block or the bolster out of the way, and roll onto your right side. And place the bolster in between your legs or whatever prop you have. And you can also place a block underneath your head, finding this supported fetal position. And then roll over to your other side on your left side with your prop and finding fetal position on that side.
One more breath here. Then slowly roll onto your backs, placing either the blocks underneath your calves, underneath your knees, or your bolster can be underneath your knees. And then if you do have a blanket, you can use it to either, you can roll it and have it heavier than laying it onto your chest or in your belly, or you can unravel it using it fully as a blanket as we enter into our Shavasana. Take a deep breath in through the nose and sigh it out. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale it out, everything go. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Hold all the air in for 3, 2, 1, and slowly exhale it out. And hold at the bottom of the exhale. Hold on empty. Breathe in. Hold. Exhale. Hold. In. Hold. Out. Hold. Breathe in. And exhale. Finding a natural rhythm of your breath. Feeling your body release into the floor. Melting away any tension that's left over. Bring awareness to the tip of your crown. And imagine a color, any color. And now that color is going down the tip of your crown to your eyes, your ears, your nose, the back of your head, your mouth, to your neck, the shoulders, the back shoulder blades, all the way down your arms to your fingers, down the back, the middle back, the lower back, the chest, the belly, the hips, your glutes, hamstrings, your thighs, backs of the legs, your knees, the calves, your shins, the heels, the tops of your feet, your toes. Now your full body is in this color and it's starting to glow and become lighter as you become lighter. The comparison and the contrast meeting together of light and heavy meeting together like two seas in the ocean, the world. This is where I'll leave you. Take your time getting out of this. Thanks for moving and breathing, for strengthening and easing. If you liked it, don't forget to like and subscribe.